Soifua and Talofa Lava. Good morning, everybody.
Malo lava fa malo si mai. It is a great pleasure to see you this morning and blessed to have, like I said earlier, blessed to have this opportunity to communicate on this platform. So I just wanted to start off with, you've been busy like the last couple of weeks. I know we've had other members of parliament in your place, but you've been busy with the sittings at parliament. Please do elaborate on that.
Yeah, so been really busy actually. So like last week I couldn't come on the show because I was heading down to Wanaka as the Minister of Economic Development. I opened up the Winter Games. As a government, we've invested $6 million into these games, which happen in the deep of the South Island in the snow, and it's a really good way to bring up economic growth because they had around 400 athletes from different parts of the world come to New Zealand to compete in these Winter Games. We've also just yesterday, school's out, it's finished.
Good feeling, eh? Yes,
it's really good. It means that I'm ready to.
Congratulations.
So yesterday Parliament adjourned for the 53rd Parliament. So 53rd Parliament. What that means is that we spend around over 30 plus weeks in Parliament a year. And most people don't realise that, and so that's thousands of hours where we sit in Parliament to pass laws, check laws, make decisions and roll out policy. So yesterday we finished for the last time for the 53rd term. What happens now is we've got 6 weeks where we work hard to win the election on October the 14th, and then Parliament will resit once a government is formed.
Excellent. So just having a look on the social media platforms, on TV, there's a few things that I viewed in those sittings because there's different platforms that we've been seeing. But I do want to ask about these ministers that are in breach. Don't they go through a process for those who become members of Parliament? Surely. What's going on there? I know it's not.
Sometimes they break them when they're in Parliament. So it's not just ministers; it's members of Parliament as well. So we had opposition members who got told off for things. For example, a National Party MP was censured, which is basically a very serious telling off. We had a Māori Party MP who was suspended because they breached some of the rules around name suppression. But what happens is that generally, Parliament has really strict rules. There's things you're not allowed to say, things you're not allowed to accuse other people across the House for. And that creates quite a safe debating chamber. And then what happens, though, is if you break those rules, sometimes the Speaker will rule or make a decision. He's the referee, make a decision on the day. Or sometimes he'll refer you on to another committee called the Privileges Select Committee. And what the Privileges Committee does is they will make up what happened in a situation, they'll report back to Parliament, and then a punishment will happen. So sometimes it happens when you're in Parliament, but, that's why we have rules.
And that's why, so disciplinary does take place in a place like the Parliament, right? Because as the public looks in, we're like, hey, you guys are like role models. Why aren't you guys, going along those rules and regulations, follow them? And when we see those sort of things happen, we sort of question and say, so should we be voting for them? Especially at this time when people are looking to see who to vote for. Now, the polls, we've been tracking the polls as a radio station. Yes, we've been tracking them. I'm not going to say to you, hey, Labour results and so on. But the question I have is there are people sitting on the fence. What is the Labour Party actually doing about these people?
So the biggest problem that we know for people in New Zealand today is the cost of living. So, everything and prices have gone up. So what we've wanted to do ever since we've come in, because when we first came in, we boosted working for families, we put in the Best Start payments, we brought in the winter energy payment, we've increased the abatement threshold for working for families, we've increased beneficiaries, benefit rates, we've increased the minimum wage. So we've done things right from the start, from when we first came in. But what Labor wants to bring to the election is a few more things. So most people will have heard we're taking GST off fruit and veggies. We also, what we don't want to do, which is what the National Party want to do, is remove the free prescriptions. They're looking at removing cheaper childcare for protecting our cheaper childcare policy. National is going to get rid of our extension for early childhood subsidies to 2-year-olds, because currently you can get a subsidy when a child is 3, but we're extending it to 2. The other thing that we want to be able to protect by coming back into government is the half-price fares. So if you're 12 and under, you get free public transport fares. But if you're over 12 and a little bit older, up to your mid-20s, you actually get half-price fares. So for a lot of parents I talk to, and I'm on the netball court and the rugby fields and the schools a lot, because that's what happens when you've got 8 kids. The parents say to me that that's a huge help for their budget every week. Being able to make sure that they only have to pay half price or no fares for their kids to catch the bus or train to school. So basically for us, it's to keep working on what we've been doing from the moment we come in. We've also introducing, as part of our election policy, removing GST off fruit and veg, making sure that we also introduce 4 weeks partner leave for when a family is having a baby. But actually, on Saturday is our campaign launch for our party. So you'll see over the next 6 weeks exactly what Labor will be, the extra things that Labor will be giving to families to help them with the cost of living.
Excellent. So, Honourable Minister, so it's all in good. Policies, values, yes, we're leading towards the elections. It's all in good that, but the Pasifika people, we want, it's not about what we see or what we hear, it's the action. We want action to take place. What are you guys doing? Like you said, 6 weeks till the elections. What sort of meetings or events do you have implemented so that we as Pasifika people can come and hear you to tell us about those things? It's all in good that we see it on the social media and on TV and things. Please.
Yeah, so this is why we're with you every week to remind you what we've been doing. And so different parties, different candidates in different parts of the country. So Mangele will have campaign meetings. They'll have meetings which you can go to. Follow Le Maunga Lydia Soseni on Facebook. She'll be on media as well, promoting where you can meet her. She's at the markets every Saturday. I know that for sure, at the Mangele markets. And then you can, you've got Anai, Dr. Neru Levasa, who's up in Takanini. You've got our Tongan sisters with Jenny Sa'alesa, Anahila Suisuiki. You've got our Deputy Prime Minister, Carmel Sepuloni in Kelston. So you've got real Pacific candidates, and we're Pacific MPs. So follow our social media, follow us on media, because we will have different events depending on where you live, so it's easier for you to come and talk to your MPs and so you can find out what Labor is doing. But the massive thing for us though is that what we're doing now, which is for a lot of our families, they get the winter energy payment. That is safe under Labor. For a lot of our families, they get half price free public transport. That is safe under Labor. We've got free prescriptions. That is safe under Labor. We cannot guarantee it with other political parties. So for us, it's really a choice. Do you want Carmel Sepuloni as the Deputy Prime Minister, or do you want David Seymour as the Deputy Prime Minister? And we've seen what he's done to our Pacific community recently. Do you want Chris Hipkins as our Prime Minister, or do you want Christopher Luxon? And I think the choice is really clear for a lot of our Pacific people as to who they connect with in order to be the leadership that we want to take into the 54th government.
Excellent. Thank you, Honourable Minister. Just one more question. Can you just elaborate on the Vaka Stories event before we wrap up, please?
Yeah. So, as you know, when we did the Dawn Raid apology under Jacinda Ardern in 2021, we launched just this year the Vaka of Stories, which is basically, it's been going across the country, and they're basically having community meetings. So it started off in Grey Lynn, and it's had a number of sessions throughout Auckland. Today it lands in Porirua, in my hood. So you can pop into the Ministry Pacific People's office between 10 and 4 and come and share your story. Tomorrow it'll be in Newtown in Wellington. So again, follow the Ministry of Pacific People's website. It's got the schedule there of where they're going. But it's a really good way for our families to be able to come and share their dawn raid story in a safe environment, and also so that we can record the history for our children.
Thank you, Minister, Honourable Minister. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
There is. We're in for a big fight heading into this election. You know, I'm ready like Rocky, ready to run up those stairs and, get fit for this. So it comes down to who looks like you, who talks like you. For us, we have a strong Pacific caucus right throughout the country, and we're in it to win it, and we're in it for you.
Malo whawhatai, Honourable Barbara Edmonds. Thank you for the time that you've with us this morning. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing weekend. All the best for the campaign and the lead up 6 weeks to the elections. To all our listeners, Honourable Barbara Edmonds, thank you. Soifua ma'ia manuia.